I look for a good story, and I look for a character that has something, that brings something to the story. I'd like to experience different roles with different type of emotion and different characters, really. So I wanted to do this project because when I read the script, I was quite attached with the story. I thought that was quite a moving story, and I thought it would be a difficult character to play as Jane Dash, and I thought, why not trying this out? And the second reason I would say would be because of Adam, because I've seen him on other sets and doing other projects, and he's got a passion that he's able to transfer to others, so I was like instantaneously passionate as he was, so. Oh, the shoot was the easiest one I've ever done, not that I did many, but it was very easy to do, very smooth. So we went to beautiful locations, and then we just shot the scenes a few different times at each scene, and it was very easy. I was getting feedback, and then we were doing it again and again, but it was very easy. I don't know why it felt so easy, but it was very natural. I think it was more true to the character, because if I had to speak, you would have heard my French accent, and because Jane Dash was obviously English, I think it was easier in a sense to get into character, because if I had to speak up, I would have focused much more on my accent and making sure it was properly English, and I think I would have lost a bit of my acting in my body, so that took the pressure off me. Having said that, it's a bit weird not to be able to speak as a character, but I think it makes you focus more on how you act and actually trying to convey loads of emotion through your face, through your body. So it's different, but it's interesting. There was one I really enjoyed, which was with the child, Shantaya. We were playing in the field with flowers, and at the beginning she was a bit shy because we didn't know each other and we were supposed to be mother and daughter, so I tried to connect with her with a little game with a flower, and she laughed so much. I didn't expect that, so we had a lot of fun doing that, and after that it was much easier to do all the other scenes. That was one, and I guess a second one would be when my neighbour comes to me, runs to me to announce what is happening to my child, and just the emotion or the adrenaline that goes into that scene, and have to drop the water and just run. I really like that as well. That was good fun. That was actually quite comfortable, and I was wondering why are we not wearing this anymore. I wanted to keep the top one. I wanted to wear it at work, but we hired the costume, so we had to give them back. Well, we shot the film in the village where actually the events happened, and when we started shooting I didn't realise how close we were to the real location, but when Adam showed me the house, the door, that's the river where she would go, that's the path she would have taken, it becomes really like, oh god, that actually happened, that's a true story, and that was just here. If that happened, I think Jane Dash would have been seen in a very negative way by her neighbours or by the community as being responsible for what happened to the child. At the time, I don't think we would have supported her into the grieving process. She probably would have been on her own, isolated, being considered as completely crazy, and at some point herself probably got into eternal sadness, I guess. Well, when I first watched Martha, I watched it with my housemate, and I was looking from a very technical point of view, looking at how the scenes were going through, etc., and how I was acting and how the sound was, and she was looking at it from a pure, this is a new film, I'm just watching this. And she was so moved at the end of it. She was not crying, but she was very emotional. She was like, oh my god, this is such a sad story, and it's told in such a powerful way. So I'd like people to get that emotion from that film. It's quite short, it's quite intense, and I'd like them to feel that emotion, which is actually how terrible the story is, and yeah, just feeling what the character Jane Dash must have felt as well herself, how just unfair and terrible it is. So just that adrenaline of emotion, it's a one shot of emotion, and this one is a sadness one, but I think I'd like people to take away the fact that it's a true story. It's a story that happened in the past, so hopefully this is not something that would happen today in terms of the accident or in terms of the reaction from the people around Jane Dash. But I'd like people to think about how much grief that woman would have gone through, how much guilt as well, and if it were to happen today, how would we deal with that? How would we support her going through that?